Welcome back. It's Wellness Wednesday, and we are joined by Dr. Ashley Phillips. She's a child psychologist at Valley Children's Hospital. She is with us today. We're talking about a really important and timely topic, which of course is AI and the impact it has on children, specifically mental health. Ashley, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We were just talking about how we cannot escape AI. We hear about it every day. It's something we talk about. It's something we're learning how to navigate. Just tell me, in your role, when did you start to become aware that this would have an impact on children's mental well-being?
Well, about 2 years ago, or maybe 3 now, when I came to Valley Children's, I had taken a small break from my own child, and when I came back, all of a sudden, so many youths came to me asking about ChatGPT or whatever chatbot they're using and telling me the advice it was giving them. So that was really interesting to me. And so that sparked some curiosity in me.
And so when you would hear from them, kind of did that have any red flags for you, alarm bells? Did you start to see an impact that it had on their mental health and mental well-being?
Yes. So one thing I saw was that the social skills started to almost atrophy or regress. We all know that learning comes from almost like a trial and error, like an experimental process, but that goes for social and emotional learning too. In fact, from ages 10 to 25, it's a peak developmental and very sensitive period for learning and practicing social skills. It's very important, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And kids who are sort of outsourcing that social interaction to AI really have a hard time error testing social skills, because the AI is built to always agree with you. And if you think about AI, it doesn't ask you to remember its birthday or even ask it how its day is going or be concerned about its emotions, right? It's a one-way relationship.
One-sided.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up, because I am going to expose myself. I do not use ChatGPT. I do not use any AI. I do not have it on my phone. One person told me it used a lot of water and it was bad for the environment. And I said, okay, I won't touch it. So, but I've heard from that about, like, you know, it interacts with you differently. It's not like talking to a normal person. It feeds into you what you want to hear. Does that later on in turn impact relationships they might have with parents, with friends, because they're not having that back and forth? And, you know, how do you address that?
Yes, certainly. Because they're not getting the practice of what we call friction, almost.
There's lots of friction in the world.
Yeah, lots of friction in the world, and the teens have lots of friction in social interaction, right? But that friction is how we learn what's socially acceptable, what's kind, what's well received. And without that practice, it's really hard for them to know. And so I do see that it makes them almost extra sensitive or socially anxious.
Oh, okay.
Because when they get out in the real world, their friends do demand those things, and it feels almost scary when it happens. I'm seeing a lot of isolation.
And I know we talk a lot about, you know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. They have a lot of more issues with anxiety already as it is. This might be adding on to it. What's your tips for parents who are listening? They might think, ooh, this is something I need to talk to my kid about.
So I'm not, as you can imagine, totally against AI personally, but you need to think of it in a developmentally appropriate way with our kids.
Like screen time
Like
almost.
screen time.
Okay.
And just like with screen time, we want to emphasize co-viewing, but with AI, co-use.
Kind of have the parents involved.
Yes, and asking them questions and walking them through it, and not using it as to replace social interaction. Use it as a way to explore or answer interesting questions, almost like a really advanced Google.
Gotcha. I get that. I know I need to learn more about it, but I'm like old lady, I guess, when it comes to I'm like, what is this technology infiltrating our lives? But I guess you got to learn how to use it so you can use it as a tool. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to put resources and information on our website. We'll put it to our web story on yourcentralvalley.com. It will be under the Wellness Wednesday tab. Ashley, you are full of so much wisdom and smartness and goodness on this topic. So I appreciate your help here today. Thank you for joining us.